What's up YouTube and welcome to KangBros TV. Liverpool 2, Crystal Palace 1. I was worried about this one because I thought, you know what, it's an international break, anything can happen. It's normally a dead game, so it's normally dull as anything. But we got the 3 points and that was the main thing. I think it was a big 3 points amongst the whole league and where we sit and I guess finishing the top four and stuff like that. So we're really happy with the win. Obviously, Mo Salah. I even said that he was going to come through in the last 10 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
He was actually like non-existent most of the game, which is fine. But sometimes you can't be at them same levels every single time. But yeah, just to echo your point, I thought that today was one of those games that's a complete banana skin for us. Always has been. Someone was taking a piss at me this morning at football, saying about a couple of years ago when we were winning and when it all went to shit and it was at their place. So it was good to get the 3 points. Performance wise, look, it's difficult because it's hard to even put your finger on to say what was off, but something was off today. I don't know if that means taking your hats off and saying well done to Woy. I don't know, but I just thought something was off today.
For me, I think today was a clear demonstration of how average our midfield is. I think the top three, we all know, are very good. But today, there was no dominance in midfield. I think Hendo tried to get on the ball a lot. All his touches, everything like that, he got on the ball a lot. But we're not playing for possession, are we? Do you know what I mean? And I think even some of our friends mentioned it. I had one guy who was actually messaging me throughout the whole game, giving me minute to minute of where Milner was fucking up. Literally, that's how badly he hates Milner. I mean, I don't know.
See, I'm different. Like, I find it hard to. Don't get me wrong, yeah.
But he is average, isn't he?
Well, listen, he's. I made a point earlier, which I'll make in a second. But he's the sort of person that he's not someone you look at and think, oh, fucking hell, Milner's playing today. We're going to be at it. But as a fan, as someone who has watched Liverpool play, there was the first goal, for example, it came from him just being ice cold, just being cool. In situations where it's tricky, he's cool and he does things. He's not the sort of person you want to get on the ball to do a diag that's going to drop it over the left back's head or anything like that. He's just not your guy, but he's just so efficient. But yeah, I have to agree with you. I think today, I was looking at it, asking myself like, is there anyone in that midfield that you think, oh, I'll tell you what, he could change a game? Man City, you look at Silva, or KDB, you think, oh, they can do anything at any point. You look at Man United, who were second and we're back to second. Again, they've got players in midfield that you look at and think, oh, it's going to be a problem. Like Matic, you think, oh, he's good for a goal, he's going to be difficult to get round. Pogba, if he plays, you're always thinking, well, he could do something. Sanchez, there's names there all over the place. You think they could do anything. And Spurs, you look at Christian Eriksen, Dele Alli, you think, well, they can always pop up with something and do something. We're the other team in the top four. When I look at it, I think, there's no one there. If I was a centre-back, I won't be thinking, oh, he's going to slip it through the eye of a needle. So that is one thing. But obviously, with Naby coming, potentially could be, a different element. Although I don't think he's going to be the Kevin De Bruyne and David Silva slip passes. He is going to be another,
I don't want to take too much away from Palace because, they were in the games with people, I think the likes of Tottenham, Man United, where they lost towards the end of the game. So, they are a difficult team to play. There's no doubt about that. And they had their chances. Benteke, some of his misses. Woo! Boy, like that.
To be fair, we've seen it though, innit? It's not like it's news to us. We've seen
it firsthand, yeah.
Before. I think the main point that everyone's going to want to discuss is the goal. I went ham last time against Man United because of the same reason. Because you're getting beat by one long ball and runners off the ball. Now, I think last time I said you'd want Emre Can to be doing toes. Now I could see Jordan Henderson was in that position, in that sort of deeper lying position to kind of shield, and it came the guy, I think it was Zaha or Benteke, came in and made the run across, and no one really went with him. I guess that is the onus is on the defender to always speak to his midfielder and say right shoulder or whatever, he's coming across, right late run or whatever. End of the day, you can always talk, you're always next to each other, so there could be some communication. But the fact that we're getting done by that, listen, Man City are going to do that. Man City will play that ball. They'll pick up on it. That's Route 1 football we're getting done by, to concede goals. Now Trent,
Is the anticipation is not there. It's happened twice now. He needs to learn from his mistake from the Man United one. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Trent's got a tremendous amount of ability, and he will definitely get there. I hope, but the lack of anticipation there, and that was Zaha, who literally he was expecting that flick on, and that's exactly what you'd want Trent to be aware of, and he wasn't. We got away with it. When I got away with it as well, Karius made a huge, big save.
He did, yeah. It was good. And listen, to cut down the angles or whatever, but I think that's probably half the reason why he gave the penalty away. Because he's made that save, he almost felt like, I have to go and be this front foot goalkeeper. That was listen, he's been very, very good for the last few weeks, but you can't. There's no hiding from the fact that that was a bad decision. That was a poor decision.
For the penalty, yeah, definitely.
You shouldn't be coming. There's no need to be coming out. What's he going to do from out there? You'd want him. Trent was getting. There was a recovery run, which would have meant that you keep Zaha going down the line and shooting on your left foot. Right, that's the way I would be looking at it. And as a goalkeeper, thinking, right, well, I don't. He'll have to go across me on his weaker foot to stick it in that in the far corner. Don't get beaten in their stick. Centre backs will make a recovery run. That's the process that will be going on. I'd like to think will be going on. I think it was a bad decision, gave them a penalty, and it was a great penalty, the well taken penalty. Mm-hmm. But it was poor decisions. I don't think we'll get punished by Man City comfortably like that, doing stuff like that, and we'll get punished by Man United, which we proved. We lost that game 2-1 because of two errors in judgment. The higher quality teams you play, those errors in judgment will get exposed.
Question I ask you: does Kleiny come back into the team? And this is a very crucial time for this in the season, right? And I know it's a bit harsh to bring Kleiny up to this full, I guess, capacity, how you want to call it, in Champions League and in the Premier League now. But Trent has made those two mistakes, and now we're at the critical stage where we need to take those mistakes out. Because like you said, they will try the same thing. You're going to have Sane now on Trent, I believe. So, and Sane is a problem. We know that. But then, like you said, who's their target man? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the only thing.
That's the only difference.
I think, listen, having Kleiny back, Kleiny is, as much as I like Trenty, and I think Joe Gomez has done really well, he is our right back. He's the right back. So it's his, he's got to win his position back like everybody else. And remember, we talk about being rusty and stuff, and there's no such thing as playing games and stuff like that. But he will be training every single day, and he is playing games in a certain capacity. I wouldn't start him at all. I'd be looking to phase him back in. But one thing we've always talked about is Klopp doesn't really do that. He's not the sort of person that's going to say, right, we're 3-0 up now. I'll tell you what, it's a good time now to give. I'll give Kleiny 40 minutes. It's a long time, but bring him in 10 minutes into the second half, or give him a good half an hour run out. And, he's not the sort of person to do that. He almost goes the other way and says, right, I'll play him, start him, throw him in at the deep end, and pull him out if I need to. So I don't think we're going to see much of Kleiny, although I think it's a good time for him to come back and get fit, because I think Trent is still learning on the job, which is something that frustrates me. You shouldn't be learning on the job at these clubs. But he is still learning, and he makes mistakes. He's going to make mistakes. So it's good to have him fit, but I wouldn't, it's the business end of the season now, and you're not someone you want to throw in. And unfortunately, Lana, as we've seen, so probably not going to play again now.
I don't think so. I think that's going to be it for Lallana. That's harsh for us as a team as well, because, like we said, coming into some big fixtures now, it would have been nice to have him, even if it was on the bench or someone bringing it on, and it just reduces some of our options now, what we need to do moving forward. The other big talking point about the whole fixture was Mane, and should he been on the pitch, and what was he doing? Now, first of all, was it for you, was it a dive or was it a penalty?
It's an exaggeration on the touch. But it's a foul. It's a penalty.
There's going to be Palace fans watching this video, and your boys.
No, that's fine. There's a foul. I've got a few mates who are Palace fans who said so. We look forward to hearing the shit you come out with because I said it to them. I said it's a penalty. It's a penalty. And the example I'd give is the England game against Italy. Right now, I'm sorry, but there's no difference between those two. There's a touch, and it's not the biggest touch, but there's a touch. If there's a touch in the box, and he's in possession of the ball, it's a foul. It's a penalty then, isn't it? If you're going to, the guy after the game, they asked him, the referee, they goes, what would the VI, Graham Souness was putting on him? And he dodged the question. He just says, I don't think the referees in the league would give it. Now, I think Souness had a very valid point. And I'm also slightly annoyed because I think it's happened a few times where we've not had penalties this year, but we've had them given against us. Mm-hmm. Now, Mason, that whatever his name is, that Calvert-Lewin against Liverpool, I still don't believe that was a penalty. And I know we've had so many people batter me for it. I'll stick up for it, and people agree with me as well. But there's contact in the box there. Is it enough contact for a penalty? Well, if that's enough contact for a penalty, and Tarkovsky, whatever his name is, whatever his name is, played for England, if that's a penalty, then this is definitely a penalty. And it's not given. And then everyone's saying, he got booked for diving. Now, the handball that's bullshit. I don't know what he's doing there. And although he probably should have got a free kick initially, but what are you grabbing the ball for? He should have been sent off, but he shouldn't have been booked in the first place. He should have had a penalty. So, swings and roundabouts, I guess it kind of evened itself out, but that's not what Palace fans are probably going to want to hear, and they probably don't agree with it. But what do you think?
For me, it wasn't a pen in the sense that the referee's positioning was poor. Not from his point of view. There's a lot of players in front of him, so he couldn't see that anyway. So for me, it wasn't a penalty. It looked soft from where he was. Even if it was given against me, I would still say the same thing. I'll say it's maybe it is a penalty, but it's very soft. So like you said, it swings around about.
How many soft penalties have we had given against us this year?
Nada. Probably could find one. I'm sure.
No, you don't think we've had people get penalties against us?
Oh yeah, massively.
That's my point.
Yeah. So it is like swings and roundabouts. But I think someone touched on in the studio in Sky Sports is the fact that what Crystal Palace should really be focusing on is Benteke's misses, because you could have literally sealed the game off then.
4-1. It could have been 3 or 4-1.
Yeah, because at that time, Crystal Palace, I was thinking, Crystal Palace have got, they're actually doing all right here. There were some parts of the game they're actually doing all right. And if you look at their team, I believe that they will be safe by the end of the season. I don't know about you. I think West Ham got a big win, but I believe that they'll be safe towards the end of the season. Got some good players.
But I think today, the guys in the studio, in the Sky Sports studio, obviously, not that we were there, anything like that, but I think that they were harsh on. Maybe it's like a bit of a soft spot for him, but Sacco copped some shit today. They said that he switched off and all that sort of stuff. Listen, he likes to think of himself as a ball playing centre half. He made a bad decision when he switched off to allow Salah in, and the second goal, I think that's harsh. I think to blame him for that, to say he should have stayed on his feet, is difficult because it was a good ball into the box, and Robbo, he wasn't at his best today, but in the second half he does it. He comes on strong, and he did do what he was good at, but it took him longer to get into the game. But I don't think you can say he should stay on his feet. The ball was there to be won. If he gets a nick, it goes away. But
the first one,
yeah, he's got to scan. You've got to get rid, and you've got to scan. As a centre back, you've got to be scanning the whole time.
The only thing I would say is that the centre back behind him could have been talking to him as well, because he was looking at there was a player there, I can't remember, I think maybe it's Firmino. He had Firmino in his eye line, he could see him over his shoulder, but the Mane run he didn't know anything about. So I think the other defender could have called him. So you can't single him out completely, but he should have been switched on, like you said.
As a centre back, so I mean, obviously I've never played to that level, but whenever I've played centre back, the first thing you're always doing is scanning, because you just need to know what's happening. It changes so quickly, especially when you've got 3 players who are so fluid like those guys. You always have to scan. So it's a shame for as I said, Palace. I hope they do stay up, and I think they will stay up. But today, if they'd taken their chances, and that game would have been gone, and that goes back to Liverpool. I think we were flat. There was a flat performance. Firmino wasn't himself today, taking pot shots early on. Salah didn't really get into the game. I thought Mane actually played quite well. Again, decision making needs work, but he's always pushing and always wants to get involved and always wants to do something. So you've got to give it to him.
I'm going to do an Henry, hand on knee moment with Carragher like that with VVD and Benteke. When I was watching it for the game, I was like, oh my goodness, he was absolutely bossing Benteke. I don't care if someone else didn't see it, I saw it. Every aerial battle, Benteke was struggling. He tried to frustrate. That's it. He got fouled a few times.
Is not somebody that typically gets like that, because he's normally really cool, doesn't really say much, but he was really animated today. I thought, VVD had a really good game.
He did make the mistake.
Yeah.
He did make the mistake. So, we're definitely going to highlight that. I'm not going to say, VVD, but he did make a mistake. And the defence came back.
Everyone made mistakes today. That was what's frustrating. There was a lot of mistakes all around the pitch. Conditions weren't great, wet. You've got to be clear mind when you're playing those sort of games. But there's a lot of mistakes today. We were flat. It wasn't our slick self. But I've always said this over the years, and we've never been in a position to say this, but to win ugly is some of the most satisfying wins, and that was an ugly win today. Say what you want, it's a tough place to go. Two fixtures I used to hate was going to West Ham away and Palace away. West Ham's obviously not so bad now because the stadium's flipping, you're miles away from it anyway, but they used to feel like everyone was on top of you. And today's one of those fixtures I always used to hate, so it was good to get the 3 points.
I do want a special shout as well to Ox. For me, when he came on, he was very direct. And that's exactly what we needed at the time. We needed a bit of flair. Like when Alana came on, I thought maybe he was going to be the guy, when obviously he got taken off within minutes. But for me, Ox got the ball, even though he slipped about fucking
20 times. If there's anybody that's working who watches this video that is in the in boot sponsorship training stuff like that, contact him, because I think he's looking. Because today that flipping out. Imagine that imagine you slip over in your own box.
Yeah,
that was that. But when he came on, he controlled
it. When he came on, for me, he was getting on the ball, and that second goal came from him. I don't care what anyone says it. You tried to get taken out a few times. You ran direct towards Crystal Palace, whooped the ball in, and that's where it came from. And Andy Robertson's, I don't know if anyone's seen it, but his celebration when that second goal went in, he went absolutely nuts. And I think you mentioned about Andy Robertson, about his performance as well. There are obviously still question marks about his delivery of ball, getting balls in the box. And again today, it took a while for him to get actually the ball in the box. But
that's the thing. When he puts it in there, he always causes problems. Even in the second goal, he'd be lying if he said, "Oh, well, I saw Salah, so I thought I'd fit." He'd be lying. He put it into a good area, and you buy the ticket, and that's the only way you can win a lottery, right? If you buy the ticket, and he bought a ticket, that's what he did. He put the ball in the box. One thing I would, in his defence, there's a few times when he had the ball and he looked up and there was nothing really happening in the box, so he didn't deliver. And when you're looking and you're seeing Kelly, Sacco, whoever's back else in there, you're thinking, the big lads in there, it's probably not worth putting that ball in the box. But today I thought, but we were flat today, and I think that's all around the park. I don't think there's anybody that you could look at and say, I'll tell you what, he was at it today. It was a flat performance.
So as you're on that, so who would you say man of the match was today? It's a difficult one.
It is a difficult one. I'd probably, if I had to pick out anybody, I'd probably say VVD just for the way he handled Benteke. Although he got in a few times and made a mistake, but that's how bad we were, I think, on the whole. There was no one that you look at and think, I'll tell you what, he was brilliant today. The man of the match is probably Mane, because he caused so much controversy and got the goal and stuff. So you'd probably say he was probably the man of the match because he was the highlights. He probably knew all the highlights for probably the wrong reasons. But I felt that, I think if you want someone that who I thought, fair play was VVD. I thought the other Matip was fucking shit, and he's worrying me.
There's the people who be messaging me saying, what is Matip on? Now, I'd love to hear what viewers think about Matip as well. Like, for me, I think it's been proven now it's going to have to be Lovren and VVD for now, because at the moment,
this guy, he just passes to the other team. I'm just like, bruv, let's just keep it local, keep it moving, keep it here. I'll tell you what, I had read something today that Toby Alderweireld is going to Chelsea. There's Lincoln. Listen, we've booked the bank for centre backs. Yeah, we've proven that. If there's any way we can get him, if you've got VVD and Alderweireld, I'll be a lot more comfortable.
Yeah,
that's for me. So what's your prediction? Firstly, what is your thought for man of the match?
Man of the match is a really, really tough one. I'm probably going to give it. I'll probably give it Hendo. The only reason I stick up for Hendo is because he kept it moving. If you watch him carefully, he always wants the ball. For me, I don't want people hiding in these kind of fixtures. You can easily think, you know what, I'm not really feeling up to it. The game's is out of control. For me, he always wants it and he's screaming. So I'm gonna probably give it Hendo because of that tempo. He kept us going. And like you said, it's a very difficult one. You could quite easily give it to Mane and VVD, probably the other close calls. But yeah, I'll probably give it to Hendo.
And if I said to you the three, who's going to go down? At this stage, it's obviously going to change, but at this stage, in your mind, who's going down? West Brom are gone, I'd say.
Yeah, West Brom are done. We can forget them.
I think Southampton are going to go down.
That was a bad defeat for them. Very, very, very bad defeat.
And so you agree that you think they'll be them?
Yeah, I think Southampton are gone. It's going to be a massive shame, and for our academy to go down like that. We're going to have to take some players before they go.
They're not going to get that Premier League experience that we've been hoping for.
But I think Southampton fans will probably say themselves, right? Why are we selling our top players now? What do you expect?
They don't have to anymore because we've given them so much money over the years. But yes, I think Southampton are going to go down. I think West Brom are pretty much gone. And
it's going to be Palace, West Ham down there.
I think Stoke.
And Stoke.
That's my... At this moment, it can change, but at the moment, that's why I think... who are probably going to go down. There's going to be a team that's going to come strong towards the end of the season. Something tells me it's going to be Palace.
I'm going to be a bit controversial and go for West Ham. The reason why, because I think I've seen their fixture list and it's dirty. I think Southampton was the one. Forget the big game for them was a 6-pointer for them, which they've proven and they've come out trumps from it. But I think West Ham got a really, really bad fixture list coming up. So.
Right, well, I think the next thing is going to be we've got Champions League in the week. I'm not going to say too much on it now. Enjoy the victory, enjoy the game tomorrow. I'm probably thinking hopefully it's a draw. Chelsea, Tottenham, if there's a draw, or Tottenham win and that puts us further in the top 4. That's probably the best case. Hopefully it's a draw. We'll see how we get on. But Liverpool fans, enjoy it. Let's get behind AJ tonight.
Come on, AJ.
Let's hopefully enjoy a couple of days off before the big in on Wednesday.
So yeah, let us know your opinions on the game. If you think you agree with some of our opinions on some of the players and their performances, and probably who needs to go as well by the end of the season. Let us know about Lallana as well. I want to hear about him and his future. And apart from that, let's big up AJ and hopefully he can get over the line and get the victory that we all want. And don't forget to share, like and subscribe.